All right, let's get right into it. We're looking at a region that is absolutely on the brink. The Middle East is locked in this incredibly tense standoff between the US, Israel, and Iran. You've got military hardware moving into place, and every single word from leaders could be the spark that triggers a major conflict. So let's break down exactly what's going on. Right now, as we speak, senior military leaders are flying across the world, warships are converging on the Gulf, and fighter jets are being repositioned. It's like this giant, high-stakes chess game where even one tiny misstep could have absolutely massive consequences for everyone. So, where do we start? Well, let's look at what's happening behind the scenes, behind closed doors. Because even while all this military hardware is on the move, there's a really critical diplomatic effort happening. Top American and Israeli officials are meeting right now to get on the same page and coordinate what they're going to do next. And when you look at who is in the room, it tells you just how serious this is. You've got the head of U.S. Central Command, that's the top American military officer for the entire region, in Israel meeting with key advisors. And their agenda? It's all the most volatile issues you can imagine. The situation in Gaza, the hostage negotiations, and of course, Iran's actions across the region. This is a huge signal that they're trying to forge a completely unified strategy. And make no mistake, these are not your typical run-of-the-mill meetings. No way. Officials are saying that these discussions are going to define the Allied response on every single front. We're talking everything from diplomacy and sanctions all the way to potential military action. This is literally where the playbook for what comes next is getting written. Okay, so that's the diplomatic side. Now let's pivot and look at the military side of the equation. Because at the exact same time these talks are happening, a very significant amount of naval and air power is converging in the region, and it's painting a really tangible and pretty intimidating picture of readiness. Just take a look at the scale of this buildup. The U.S. Navy is moving a whole aircraft carrier strike group, led by the USS Abraham Lincoln, right toward the Middle East. Then you look up in the skies, and you've got U.S. F-15E Strike Eagles already active, supported by a constant stream of military cargo planes. And this isn't just a U.S. show either. The UK's Royal Air Force is in on it too, deploying their Typhoon jets to Qatar. It's a very united front. Now, officially, the word you'll hear from everyone is readiness, just being prepared for any possibility. But, and this is a really big but, military analysts who watch this stuff for a living, they're pointing out that this type of buildup looks eerily similar to deployments that have happened right before major military strikes in the past. It's that incredibly fine line between defense and offense that has everyone on edge. So you've got the military pieces moving on the board. But that's only half the story. This posturing is being matched step for step by an equally intense war of words. The official statements coming out of both Washington and Tehran have become incredibly sharp, very direct, and they leave absolutely zero room for misinterpretation. From the U.S. side, the message has been a pretty stark warning. You have officials talking about an American armada heading towards Iran and threatening a response far greater than past strikes if Iran escalates in any way. The message is a clear threat of overwhelming force. It doesn't get much clearer than that. And Tehran's response? It was just as tough, just as uncompromising. A senior Iranian official basically drew a red line in the sand, stating that any attack on Iranian territory would be treated as a declaration of all-out war. This isn't subtle diplomatic language anymore. This is an ultimatum. So you put it all together, the secret talks, the military deployments, the public threats, and it all brings us to the one central, terrifying question. As all of these forces move into place and the rhetoric just gets tougher and tougher, that margin for error, for some kind of miscalculation, it is shrinking by the day. So let's just recap for a second. Diplomacy is clearly strained. Military forces are converging from the sea and the air. The signals here are, well, they're unmistakable. Something is clearly building toward a breaking point. Which leaves all of us with this final critical question. Are we just witnessing a massive show of force that's designed to deter a conflict, to scare everyone into backing down? Or are we actually watching the final preparations being put in place for a war that's about to become a reality? The truly scary part is we might find out the answer to that question very, very soon.